Well, welcome to the Nitty Gritty. Trying to sound happy. We wanted to still do an episode. Obviously, we're not going to invite a guest.
Not right now.
Not right now, for safety reasons. But
maybe next week.
Maybe next week, yeah. And we're in a 6-foot triangle right now. Me, Brent, and Andrew. So we're practicing our social distancing, which I don't know. I don't know if I buy it. I had to wait in Costco line yesterday, and they didn't make us stand 6 feet apart before we got in. But yeah, crazy time. So we thought we would we're all bored. Any new media we can get is a good thing. So we wanted to keep you guys entertained for at least 30 or 40 minutes. So there's plenty to talk about. We've had some awesome episodes, and we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, the stock market,
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
So how's it going, Drew?
It's been wild, man. In the financial world specifically, this has never happened in the history of
right.
Ever.
I was excited to ask you about the financial stuff.
It's been crazy. So we're working on a couple of cool financial guys to get on the podcast to be able to kind of get into the nitty gritty of what's going on. But it's crazy, because it's kind of 9/11 meets the financial crisis of 2008.
Interesting.
It's
That's a great way to put it.
It's kind of both of them because
were you alive during 9/11?
Was I alive? Oh my gosh. I remember it was my senior year of high school.
Was it really?
I remember watching, I remember I woke up the morning and they'd said a plane hit and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Right.
And then news was on and I watched the second one hit. Dude, that was crazy.
That was pretty much the exact same thing for me. I was asleep. I was home from a mission for about 7 months home. But yeah, my little square Nokia rang on the top of my bedpost.
That you'd play Snake on?
Yeah. Yep. And so, I went up and watched it. So kind of crazy. But that's an interesting comparison because it seems like the stock market is really up and down, obviously. So let's give people a little advice. I mean, I know you're worth a lot more money than free advice, but we all have to help each other out. What are there some things that you're doing?
Is the first thing.
Take a breath. Right.
So I've actually been thinking a lot about this because I don't have a platform on the financial side to talk about broad topics, and it's kind of hard to with regulations and rules and all that kind of stuff. But no, the biggest thing is just because something's gone down in price doesn't mean it's a good buy. So there's your one big little takeaway today. So easy example, if a stock goes down 20%, but their earnings go down 30%, it's actually a worse buy.
Makes total sense when you put it that way.
But too many people say, oh, I'm getting text, should I buy Royal Caribbean? It's down 80%.
Oh my gosh.
Or should I buy XYZ stock?
I would invest in the new HEPA air filters that the Royal Caribbean ships will now be using.
Yeah, it's down so much. It's just take a breath. It is, if you have to find a silver lining, this type of crash doesn't happen very often. And so it definitely is repricing. So people who do have the ability are going to have a couple of really good years after this when it does turn around.
It kind of resets. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a real estate bubble bursting.
For sure.
Everything kind of comes down.
If you look at the numbers, there have been trillions of dollars leave the market, and even bonds. Everyone is just scared of everything. Usually people leave stocks and go to bonds to find safety.
Right. Everyone's
leaving everything and just going to cash.
That's so weird.
And so everyone's panicking because they don't know how much worse it can get. And what's crazy is before this whole thing, a 1 or a 2% move in the market was a big move. I mean, we've been having 9, 10, 11% moves.
Right.
Very consistently. I mean, it's
I don't want to cash out because I don't want to take the hit permanently.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, there's a 150-year history of it never, it'll bounce back.
Yeah. So
it always does.
There's definitely strategy. There's going to be some opportunity. It's going to hurt and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
But don't pull out your stuff.
Here's the thing.
Just tell us what to do.
No,
I know.
There's not a.
I'm trying to make it feel awkward.
There's not a right way or a wrong way. There's your way, right? That's the number one saying in investing.
I tell my wife.
But the key is, if you're worried about this, if this is having a direct impact on you, you're overinvested. Because like if you have to get out of the market, that means you're overinvested in the market.
That's interesting.
Like if you have,
I just don't look. Like obviously, I looked once at my little, my retirement and stuff, and I was like, holy crap. It's not good to look because it shows like a big loss, but that's temporary.
Well, I had a conversation yesterday with a really good friend. He's like, I made the mistake of looking. He's like, I've lost $1 million in a couple of weeks.
I haven't, that wasn't I didn't have that problem. I could buy maybe a used Honda with what I lost. And I'm talking like maybe a 2008 Honda.
A motorcycle.
With a couple 100,000 miles. Yeah. Or a really nice Honda dirt bike. So yeah, anyway.
But no, that's the thing is like, it sucks and it hurts, but if you hold on, history says it's going to turn around and it's going to come back. And so patience and don't do anything rash. Everyone's emotional with their own money.
Right.
So try and take the emotion out of it. But yeah, it's a scary time and it's hard and it hurts.
Right. So a layman question, like so people pulling all their stuff, that probably just amplifies the problem, right? It just makes it worse.
That's why the swings are so big right now.
Right.
Is because in the past in markets, I didn't have access to trade on my phone. I'd have to call in somewhere. I'd have to log in somewhere. There's multiple steps and there's people along the way that I could talk to that might help understand what's going on. Well, now if Trump throws up a tweet, everyone can log into their account and hit sell in 5 seconds. Sheesh. And so it's the technology and social media that all it's doing, it's creating these, it's becoming more violent.
Right.
The ups are higher and the downs are lower,
right.
And it happens faster. So that's why like Warren Buffett, if you ever ask him, like, I love it. He's like, well, what's going to happen next week? He's like, I don't know. And I don't care. He's like, well, what about in like 6 months? He's like, I don't know. And I don't care.
Right.
Like, he's like, I buy something under the premise that if the market closed, I'll be happy in 5 years. And that's kind of how he goes about investing. And what's really interesting, look at how much cash Berkshire is sitting on right now. People have kind of been making fun of him.
Right. What is it, $123 billion or something like that?
Dude is sitting on a lot of cash. He's about to take advantage.
Right.
He always says, when people get greedy, he gets scared. And when people get scared, he gets greedy. You're going to watch him step in and start buying.
Probably quote bomb from ABB. That's a really cool quote.
Yeah.
Well, and that should make everybody feel a little bit better because, there are opportunities right now.
For sure there are.
Because there's going to be a bounce back. I think it'll really be interesting to see what happens. My guess is 2 more weeks of, I think people will start getting really stir crazy and just think like, you know what?
So
I got to get back to normal life.
Here's what's crazy. But I've had friends that live like in the Midwest. School's canceled.
It's what?
School, like they're like, yeah, right. you're not coming back. So they wiped out 2 months. Like it's just like they're just.
But they don't have to do online stuff. None of that.
And they are, but it's weird that like people aren't. What I don't understand is why aren't people just like here in Utah? They go, okay, we're going to pause for 2 weeks and we'll reevaluate. 2 weeks, where people are like, no, we're just done for 2 months. It's like that feels abrupt, but I don't know. It is what it is. I think I was actually talking to Richie Norton yesterday about this. If you followed him at all, he's actually been predicting this since January. Like
what?
He's been talking about the corona because his business was in the supply chain for the masks, the N95 masks.
Are you serious?
And so in January, he was starting to have issues. And so he started talking about the gravity of the coronavirus and people were killing him. They're like, you are a fear monger. You're spreading fear. What are you talking about? He's like, no, this is.
Well, he's got like cold hard proof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can see it with his, like there was a run on him, like more people were ordering. Is that what you mean?
Well, because
I don't know how to look at that.
Like, and so like he's been talking about this for months about what's going to happen. He's like, this is going to be known as before coronavirus and after coronavirus. That's like how this moment is going to be known as. But we talked a lot about the opportunity of kind of, well, it's another quote for you. We talked about it before we started recording. How, what is it? Necessity is the mother of all invention. or innovation or whatever. You're a great example of that with the drive-through.
Yeah.
You know, your business is forever changed because of the need
That's true.
to do something different.
The drive-through will never go away from here on
No,
out.
it won't.
And it's awesome.
And I mean, we've had it. Everyone thinks I'm part of the restaurant. See how I just did that? I took we. I was going to say,
You're related
since
to me.
we've done the podcast, you've had the drive-through ready to go. Right.
Oh, for sure. It's been almost a year.
You know,
with the
but there was
window
never
in.
a huge need, and it was scary.
And ADHD,
Yeah.
which is a factor. Procrastination,
You
right?
know, all those things came into account,
Right.
and now all of a sudden they closed dining, and the next day, I mean, how about that for you for acting? Like the next day, you have a drive-through window open,
Yep.
and you've had some of your best days you've had in a while now.
Yeah, we've had 3 just amazing days, and it's funny. It's been a really emotional few days because, you know, just people are awesome. I mean, I know people love my food and they want to come get barbecue, but I know a lot of it is just people rallying around us and wanting to take care of us. And man, it's been so cool. But you're right. Without this, you know, I always call it the wall, right?
Danny Deaton talks about it. Right? It's that fork in the road, right?
Right. Like it could have been another 6 months.
Yeah.
Who knows? And so there's a part of me that's really grateful because we've learned more in 3 days, like with the amount of people that have come through there in 3 days. Like we've already gutted the thing 3 times and totally rearranged it. And now we're down to, you know, I think a little bit more of the final way it's going to be set up, but it's just so, yeah, I mean, that was because of the coronavirus, and the business will forever be changed because of that decision, because that won't ever go away, nor will I ever have another Bam Bams without a drive-through if I ever do another one. But
well, and there's 2 things to unpack in that. There's the first thing about like people showing up that I want to get to, but I want to make sure that like we address how bad this is for people.
yeah,
You know, like we talked about, like the real economic impact is real. Like there's a lot of people out of work.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that aren't going to be able, that they don't have the ability to put in a drive-through. You know what I mean? They're being forced to close business.
right.
They're being forced out of a job, and it's scary.
Or laying off a workforce.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're trying to stay afloat, and hopefully things, you know, the one good thing is if this does, let's say a month from now, like kind of come to an end, we're coming right into summer, which is generally a pretty fruitful time for, well, at least for my industry. And so hopefully people get out and spend money, but you're right. These next few weeks can make or break. I mean, I really do think that you're going to see a lot of places that you really love disappear
For sure.
for good.
For sure. And it's so sad.
Ugh.
And I mean, that's why. But here's the key with all of this. And I talk about it all the time. We actually talked about it with Deb on our last podcast about like focus and energy. And I know we joke about it and it's all hippy dippy, as Sadie would say, right?
Right.
But it's so real. Like, and I find myself doing it. And Jenna called me out on it. Like, it's really easy for me to get trapped in spending countless hours reading articles and going down and looking at this and that. And like all of my focus and energy is on all of the crap that's happening.
Right.
And I can't do anything about it.
No, you can't.
You know, but it's so easy to get sucked into it. And I think now more than ever is so important to be more intentional with every second of the day. Like we have 4 young kids we're trying to homeschool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If I haven't loved teachers more, like, I mean, I think every parent is coming out of this with like a newfound respect for teachers.
Teachers might get a raise after this whole thing.
Please.
Or like so side note to this, I had this idea, and maybe somebody out there can help us put it into play, but I want to create an app, which what I'm going to say isn't that new. Like Venmo could pull this off in a heartbeat, but I think that there are some real unsung heroes right now that, like garbage men, postal service, UPS, FedEx, like.
How about all the nurses and doctors?
And especially
oh my gosh,
the nurses and doctors. And that's, like they can't stop. Like my UPS guy that comes to Bam Bam's, he just looks haggard right now.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy, but what would we do without him? Like even the trash collector. Anyway, my idea was like basically it's a tipping platform, right?
Yeah.
Where I can search, like if you're a UPS driver, you can put your information down so people can find you. And I would love to give a tip to my postal worker, my FedEx and UPS drivers, my trash man, like even doctors and nurses. Like it would be so cool to be able to show appreciation to those people that are making it so we can still get products and
so we can live somewhat normal.
Right. And you can't just like, I mean, yeah, I could put a $20 bill in our mailbox, right? But for like a UPS guy, I can't just stick it on the door and hope that he sees it. Yeah. And anyways, I just think it would be really cool is to be able to tip all these people out there working for you. But so yeah, if anybody has any ideas, we should do it.
That would be really cool.
I think it would be awesome. But
and then the other thing I wanted to hit on was, we talked about this too before we started, the social media side of like what's happened. Because like as you open the drive-through, I mean, it was really easy to see. I mean, it was spread via social media. I mean, there were a lot of people posting about coming through the drive-through. I mean, it was super cool to see. I mean, we had so many past guests from the show come through.
It really was awesome.
And they were posting. And what this has done, what Nitty Gritty has taught me, and I mean, Anna talks about this a lot, about like on being social, it's real, like these relationships are real.
Right.
And social media is the platform, but it doesn't work if you don't have the genuine relationship behind it.
For sure.
So all of these people that have been posting about coming through the drive-through for you, if you didn't previously have like a meaningful relationship with that person, they're not going to do that for you.
Well, and I think that's why I've been, Anna would have been proud of me, because I did that IGTV story the other day, and I went out to my truck right when I got home. I like put my phone up. I've never put this much work into a video. I even turned like my iPad screen on like bright white just
to get
so there was some light, right? Because it was kind of dark. But I'm like, if I'm going to tell this, like share this kind of genuine sentiment, I just want to be in the quiet by myself and so I can focus. And it was so hard not to get emotional. And I realized like, hey, I want them to see the real me, and I want them to see how appreciative I am. And so it took me like 20 minutes to press the send button, but I'm so glad I did. And but I've had a couple people who brought it up yesterday, just like, man, you're so good at social media. And I just kind of not resented that. In the back of my head, I'm like, actually, I think I suck at social media, but I am really good at relationships. And that's the thing. Like, I really, truly do care and love people. And I think that's what's meant the most is, yes, social media is the communication platform, but it is so cool to see people that I love and support and I'm loyal to be that for me.
Yeah.
Like Taysom coming here with that helmet. Like it was funny because I've known Taysom a long time.
People would have paid him tens of thousands of dollars to show up and do something like that for them. Right.
And he just likes to eat. Like he just likes to eat here. So, he just texts me. He's like, hey dude, I'm going to come over and eat. And I'm like, yeah, come over. I'll see you in the drive-thru. And, he's done a ton for me with the Saints and all that. He's such a good friend, but, I don't like to bother him with that stuff because, it's like the fifth door, right? Or the third door. Sorry. I don't know why I call it the fifth door.
We got a new book coming.
The third door. That's his third, right, in the series. But like with those guys, I really try hard not to be a fan. Because I want them like...
You're a peer or a fan.
Right. Like I'm their friend. Yep. And not because they're famous football players. Like I love Taysom well before he was ever...
He can be working a corporate job and you guys would still be homies.
And I mean, he was undrafted. Like who none of that had anything to do with it. And it was cool because we always fight. Like I never let him pay for food because of all the things he's done for me. And he even said, I'm coming to the drive-thru, but I'm not telling you when because you won't let me pay. And I'm like, you can't tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. And so I let him pay, which,
Let's put a pin in that right there.
Yeah.
If you know someone, just pay full price right now. Even if they're going to give you a discount for businesses, like right now,
yep,
just pay for it. Don't ask for free
and
stuff.
People have been awesome with that. Like I've been a little bit more hard-headed with that. Just like, hey, I think of my staff, right?
Yeah.
That I want to keep them working and paid, and that's what I need. But back to Taysom, he goes, hey, dude, do you have anything in your office? I'll sign it. And like, let's do a giveaway or something. Get people in here. Like he just offered that up.
That's so cool.
And I didn't ask him for it. I didn't even think about it. But for him to use his, I don't like to use status or star power. Like people just love the guy and they should. He's amazing. But for him to think, just kind of put me in that position and say, what can I do to help you? You're my buddy. And so I came back to my office and started shuffling through, like, I have some really cool new Saints hats, but they're all the really huge ones that you can't really buy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they'll drown somebody. I'm like, but I want it to be special. Like, I want to donate to this part too. And I have 2 blank helmets that I love from BYU. And I'm like, you know what? He's willing to do what he's doing. So I want to make it really cool and make it a pretty valuable gift. And so anyway, I text him. I'm like, turn around and come back through, and I'll just be waiting at the window with the helmet and the Sharpie. And but I mean, hopefully he sees how loved he is around here.
Yeah.
That's why we want to get him on the podcast, right? Like people want to hear from him, and
for sure.
There's so much you can talk to with Taysom that has nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
And he's such a good dude. But to see how many people have rallied around him and have been taking videos of the drive-thru and getting entered into winning this helmet, man, it just makes me love the guy so much more. Yeah. And just I'm so grateful for it. And so I'm so stoked to give that helmet to somebody. Like someone's going to be so excited.
I can't wait till I win it.
Now I just have to I've been researching like fair ways. Because, I mean, there's so many people linked and posting and stories, and I do want to make it fair. So I've been trying to find, like, these name generating.
So just give everyone a number, and then there's a random number generator. You can record it live. So go through and just give everyone a number.
Right.
And then ask for the total number. So if it's 500 people, and then film it the screen.
That's what I should
And then press the button, and then the number pops up, and then you got to go find the name, and boom, there it is.
I love it. That's what I had to do. It's going to be that's going to be a lot of writing, which is awesome. And that's the other thing, just to see, like, we sold out at 6 yesterday, and it was crazy. Like, obviously you want to stay open and make hay while the sun shines, but man, I had a neighbor come in and buy 20 pounds of food. And then I found out that he just drove around to ward members and just dropped off dinner. Like,
that's cool.
A couple pounds at this house, and he just did that to support the restaurant. Yeah. And so the one thing that I will say is I am super blessed to have the drive-thru. And, the BYU family especially, because it's not just Taysom. I mean, I saw everybody from Tom Holmoe to Chad Lewis to Kalani to the football coaches, Cody and Pope, the basketball guys came. I've seen a couple of baseball guys, and then a bunch of people in the athletic department. And it's cool to know that it's not just about like the paid partnership, right?
Yeah.
Like they care about us too. Like BYU Athletics was posting yesterday about all their dining partners.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And what services they're offering just to kind of get the word out. And so, but I think next week I want to do a giveaway, but I want everyone to post a picture from a different restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, that's not In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Come on, people. Like, I love In-N-Out, but that line goes back to the it winds in front of the Nordstrom rack. Like, within 2 miles, there are 20 locally owned, like, mom and pop shops like mine that could use your business. So I had 2 or 3 reach out this morning.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that just a little bit. And I'm going to use one of our most favorite people, Becky Pickle.
Right.
Because there's people that were ragging on you shouldn't support Chick-fil-A.
Oh, no.
Because it's a national chain. But she's like, I live local, I own local, and all of my employees are local.
Right. Well, and let me kind of rephrase what I was saying.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what I was saying is, if you've got that much time to sit in an In-N-Out line, like I love In-N-Out, but go there once or twice.
Yeah.
But just make sure that you're spreading it
a
around. Like, that's why I want to do a giveaway for people posting from other restaurants. Like, I want to do my part too in helping out all of my brothers and sisters in the restaurant industry, the food industry. Because that In-N-Out is, I'm sure it's locally owned.
Yeah.
And they provide awesome jobs and great benefits. Like, of course I want them supported, but if you have that much time, maybe the best way to put it is just to spread it around.
Out, yeah.
Go come to Bam Bam's once.
Yeah.
And then,
go hit J-Dogs.
Set a rotation up. Like J-Dogs is struggling too.
So delicious.
Exactly. Like J-Dogs has deployed 2 trailers just to have a drive-through, but their stores don't have drive-throughs.
Yeah.
Five Guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're a bigger company, but they don't have drive-throughs. And so I know it's kind of a pain to have to call in and then go pick up the food. But just maybe if you're going to eat out once a day.
If you want them there when this is better, you got to help them right now.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, and maybe that's what I meant about the In-N-Out thing. Like,
just spread the love around a little bit.
Just spread it around. Like, they've got cash reserves. They're an awesome business. But man, there are some restaurants that if they don't make money for a week, man, there's a really good chance that there's
a lot of businesses, not just restaurants.
Well,
right.
And I'm only speaking from my industry, right?
Yeah.
And so there's some cool, we're trying to be creative, but ultimately, like, pick a few genres of food that you like. And if you're going to eat out 2 or 3 times, eat at a different place each time, just to kind of spread it around. Buy some gift cards or go online and buy some t-shirts. Just something.
Just do something. I mean, I tried to on Instagram. I was like, hey, if you know anyone, like I would love to find a way for Nitty Gritty to help spread the word. Like I did. We posted the J-Dogs thing, about their take-home dinner they have. Right. And
brilliant idea.
It's awesome. We've hit So Delicious a couple of times, but I'd love if anyone listening, what's fun about this is you don't have to be local. I mean, Instagram can be anywhere. I'd love to help businesses get their word out. If you're doing something cool, if you need some help, tag us on Instagram and we'll repost it. Like, I'd love to find ways to help. Like, this is the coolest thing about this. And I read a lot about this where it's the first time where the whole world is united in fighting one thing.
That's interesting because you're right. It's not just the US, right? It's international. And I will say, like, people have been, maybe that's something to really focus on more is what people are doing to help each other. Like, we have kind of come together. Like, no one's talking about the election right now. No one's talking about any of that negative crap. They're just,
people are reaching out and say, hey, I'm going to the store. Can I buy stuff for you?
Unless it's toilet paper.
Unless it's toilet paper, because that's going to be used for bartering.
My gosh. The toilet paper thing. I can't even buy a bullet to go shoot like targets with my dad. It's crazy. Like, we're hoarding bullets.
Do you know how funny it's going to be? Like, in the history books, when they look back and they're like, these people were hoarding toilet paper.
I will say, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I'm like, could you imagine if we were occupied? Like, if somebody attacked our country, we would be screwed. Because we do not handle things very, like, the way that we've all reacted to this. Can you imagine how we would act to being, like, attacked or some force coming and like, we won't even share toilet paper. Like, I've had to order toilet paper through my like, I have 2 massive rolls of toilet paper.
Like the industrial size.
Yeah. They don't fit in my rollers, and we just have to we have one upstairs and one downstairs, and because you literally can't buy toilet paper. And so anyway, it's that side of it's crazy. But you're right. It is amazing to see how many people are posting things like, help this person, help that person.
There is so much good. Right. And honestly, I'm inspired by all the people on whether it's the ingenuity in their business or whether it's just neighbors reaching out. Like, even on my street, like, seeing neighbors coming over and taking care of each other and just checking up on everyone. Like,
Right.
if there's one thing it's done, is it hopefully it's bringing everyone back. It's putting a bigger focus on the family, since we're all stuck with our family.
Oh, that video you sent me last night.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. We should play it through the mic.
So I posted
my God.
posted it on Nitty Gritty.
Oh, you did?
I did.
didn't see that.
I posted it on Nitty Gritty, but the guy's
Definitely
like,
B.
thanks to the coronavirus, you are stuck, and you are A, quarantined with your wife and kids, or B. Didn't even hear what the answer was. Oh, it was so funny.
Oh, my poor wife right now. Like, it's because the restaurant, I've had to be here nonstop, and I have so much respect for her, because you got to keep them entertained. You got to keep them from getting sick. Like, we got a couple of neighborhood kids that just have no supervision, and they'll knock on the door. And it's like, hey, idiot, we're all here for kind of a reason. Like, we're trying to stop this thing. So it's just, but our kids want to go out and play so bad. And anyway, it's so crazy. So anyway, yeah, teachers, we're very appreciative
So
of you.
appreciative.
Deal with all these little bastards all day long.
Please come back.
Yeah, please come back. We'll drop off a gallon of Purell. So, but the medical profession too. I was thinking about that. I've got to figure out a way to drop some food off for them, like, because that's the other thing. It's hard because we can't really go over there, right?
Yeah.
But man, it's got to be tough for them right now. Not just with sick people, but all the hypochondriacs out there that, like, they get a runny nose and they think they have COVID-19 and they want to go get tested, and the panic and craziness with all that has got to be nuts. And so,
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing, hopefully everyone can just kind of take a deep breath.
yep,
It sucks, it's bad, and it's scary, but it is going to get better.
for sure.
Everything is going to get better. And what's been really cool too, even on social, like, so many people are posting. It's bananas. I've never seen more people go live in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like,
Every time I open Instagram, there's like the whole top row is live.
so many people are going live and just trying to help, which has been cool. And so whatever you can do, just do it, like, you don't know who
get
you're going to
outside.
help.
Right? Like, have you seen the national parks waived all entry fees?
No.
Like, you can go to any national park now for free.
See, I mean,
Get outside. You're going to be
it's
spread
really
out.
cool to see when businesses actually care.
Yep.
Like, and you can see, like, Taysom was a good example, but even like some of the, NBA players that have volunteered to pay salary for,
Yes.
the arenas who,
Yeah, Zion paying every employee at Smoothie King Center,
yeah,
a 19-year-old kid.
yeah.
It's
Rudy,
insane.
Rudy, which, don't get me started, I don't know why he's being,
He should be forced to pay for everybody's. I'm just joking.
he is not patient zero,
No, he's not.
but he has been crucified.
Well, I mean, it's sad how we are with people now. Like, everyone makes mistakes. He was just trying to be funny. And, he is he's been genuine about it. He apologized. He's put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
Any one of us could have made that stupid mistake. And
Yeah.
anyway,
But yeah, anyways,
I feel bad for him.
I mean, this episode, honestly, I guess it really wasn't much of a recap. I guess it was a Corona episode.
I've been trying to get the Corona 2020 in for like 3 weeks, but it's a good place to vent and get a different perspective. And, hopefully you guys will comment on it and give us some stuff to talk about. But I think we both have things that there's just so much to comment on right now.
Yeah.
That having a guest on here we don't really need that right now, because there's so many things going on around us. Like, I think your financial advice, like, it's really good for people to hear, to just kind of it's just like everything else, right? Take a step back, take a deep breath. It's all 2 or 3 weeks from now. I think we'll feel the effects of it for a few months, but I really do think we'll start seeing things get back to normal in like 2 to 3 weeks. And you don't want to look back and go like, what the freak? I've been in the stock market for 5 or 10 years, or I've had all this money accruing. Like, what did I should have just left it there. Anyway, we just don't do anything rash.
Don't
basically,
react, act.
Yeah, don't react. That's a great way.
Do everything on purpose. Do it on purpose.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
Know why you're doing it. Stay safe out there. And this has been so fun for us to keep doing the podcast. And I mean, this is different for us. This is a Saturday morning. This comes out on Monday, so
right.
Like we are aware that we want to continue to provide consistency and normalcy by having an episode come out every week. And so
that's what I was thinking too. Like just to see, like not having sports, not having new material, like we need stuff to entertain us. And I think us doing that is kind of us doing our part to keep things normal. That's the other thing, like all the media, like Disney released Onward this morning,
so cool.
Way early. Universal's, I had that idea last week. I was like, man, they need to just make all the movie theater movies available for rent on Apple right now, which sucks for the theaters. But yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure they'll still get a cut of that revenue, hopefully, right? If they make the investment in the studio. But yeah, just little things. One interesting opinion, though, is to see how fast the government can act in a time of crisis. I hope they remember that we don't need to have a bureaucracy where everything takes 30 years. Have you noticed how fast acting everything is now? It just is proof that we can move a lot quicker and get things done. But it's been a blessing, but I hope that's another one of those positive post-coronavirus things that sticks around.
Yeah.
Is that we remember that we can all play on the same team, work together, and get things done, and that will help people much faster.
Well, and if there's anything we can do, if you're listening to this, if there's anything we can do, reach out to us.
Yep.
Like hit us up on Instagram. We have a form on our website. Like reach out to us. Let us know if you're a business owner and you want a shout out. Let us know.
Let us know.
If you know someone who would be a fun guest, like let us know, and we'll see if it makes sense, and we'll see if we can work out to have them on. I mean, My guess is we're going to start doing. We have some really fun guests that were scheduled.
Yeah.
That has kind of been put on pause, but we'll see if we can get them in, or we might have to start doing some remote ones, which we'll adapt as we need to. But love to hear from you. We would love to help in any way that we can. So thank you for always listening. And
we know quite a few people now through this, and that's the thing. I think that's a great point. Like if there's some,
to your point about the restaurant, we have some really good, genuine relationships with some really cool people.
Right. So yeah, if there's somebody that needs some help, let us know, whether it be food. I even thought it would be cool to do like some online classes for really cheap, like barbecue, financial, like just give people something to do while they're at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, like don't be scared to ask us for help, and because we want to be there and help you stay positive, and so yeah, reach out and just keep on listening, right?
Yep. Share, help us out, spread the word.
Brent, anything you want us to talk about before we wrap this up? No?
Besides this awesome new haircut.
Yeah, he does look good. He's got a new fade. Looks nice. Well, thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We love you very much, and we're very grateful for you. And just keep being positive, and
we'll see you soon.
We'll see you next week.